Hello YouTube fans and welcome to a nostalgic episode here on Braddock Media's Toy and Collectible Reviews. This Va-Va-Voom statue beside me is the Jessica Rabbit premium format statue from Sideshow Collectible and Toys. She is based off the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This movie is magic from my childhood. I'm so excited to share details about this film, where Jessica Rabbit's character came from, sexy little hidden things on this box, and really cool parts of this statue that are from the film. Little things that they've hidden in there that are just great. Now that we've addressed what's happening in this video, let's head over to box art and check out this sexy box.
Oh.
There are a lot of amazing hidden gems in box art this week that I can't wait to share with you. First of all, let's hit the front of this box because it is magic. They took the statue over here, her little exclusive counterpart. This penguin's actually from Mary Poppins, in case a lot of people don't know. But they recreated on the front of this box a very pivotal scene in the movie, which is Jessica in the Ink and Paint Club coming out and singing Do Right. This was pretty shocking as a kid to see such a provocative and sexy character. I will tell you more about that in the breakdown and where she was inspired and how her character came to be. But yes, this is great. It looks like an old-fashioned movie poster. I love it. Now let's kind of hit the side of the box, another piece that kind of comes from the movie. So yes, this is right before she comes out to sing Do Right. She's posing behind the curtain, and Eddie Valiant is looking at the screen, kind of getting all hot and bothered, and yeah, it was just really great. But the back of this box, oh, Sideshow, you did such a great job on this one. I don't normally get to talk this much about box art, so this is great. These old-fashioned photos were actually another part of the movie where Jessica gets framed and set up by Eddie Valiant, who takes pictures of her playing patty cake with another gentleman, and Roger goes berserk. It's harmless in its own sense, but it's also considered sexual between her and Roger. It is really amazing that they actually fit this in here, put her on it. It's great. Sideshow, I don't know who designed this box, but you definitely deserve a big award for this one. I'm gonna turn it back to the front here. Yes, so this was a great box art this week. I'm so glad to go over that. Now we're going to get into the breakdown, and you're going to learn more about Jessica Rabbit in this one as well. So make sure you stay tuned for this next segment. So before I go over the really cool parts on this statue, I want to talk a little bit about the Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie and Jessica Rabbit herself. Jessica is the tritagonist character in the Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie. The main characters are her husband Roger Rabbit as well as Detective Eddie Valiant. This movie was a Warner Brothers Disney collaboration. Warner Brothers, of course, was a little bit worried that Disney was going to kind of stick their characters in the background because Disney was definitely the main stakeholder in this film. So they drew up a 50-50 contract that made sure that both the Disney characters and Looney Tunes characters got screen time together. So there's actually some really neat scenes that kind of cross those two together. I'm not going to give you the spoilers on that. But this movie was magic to me as a child. It took my two-dimensional childhood characters and brought them into what seemed to be our reality at the time. I was very young, and it got me to believe in things like X-ray goggles again and like mallets that could explode. The movie video, or actually the Nintendo game, came with a Acme guide of things that you could order, and it was also in a lot of the different comic books back then. And of course I, sent away for the X-ray glasses and didn't realize that they weren't real and that the whole catalog wasn't real, and I was devastated. Anyways, going back to it, it was just a revolution in film and animation together, which was really great. Going back to Jessica, her tagline in this film is "She's not bad, she's just drawn that way," and that could not actually be further from the truth. She is actually inspired by the MGM 1943 Tex Avery cartoon Red Hot Riding Hood. The character's name that plays Red is Ms. Va-Voom. If I'm not mistaken, she's Droopy the dog's imaginary girlfriend in that cartoon series. It's really neat. It's cool to check out. She was a very racy character that they inspired her off of, as well as, he said, Marilyn Monroe, and I'm not exactly sure who else, but mostly it was based off that MGM 1943 cartoon. The voice for Jessica Rabbit was done by Kathleen Turner. If you remember movies like Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, there was actually a TV show called Moonlighting. Yes, I'm that old that I remember Moonlighting. And V.I. Warshawski, which was super cheese but super good. I love that movie. So kind of little things to check out. Search on the internet, you'll find it. Kathleen Turner is just great. Serial Mom, that's another one to look into. What a lot of people don't know is the singing voice was actually Steven Spielberg's wife at the time, Amy Avery, who did the singing part for the Ink and Paint Club where she sings Do Right, which I talked about in the box art and that scene that was on the front of the box. Her dress, as much as it's so glittery and sparkly here in the movie, the only time it actually does that is in that scene with the Ink and Paint Club, because it would have been too expensive to animate it throughout the entire rest of the feature. So the rest of the feature, she's just wearing a red dress that's very similar to this. Yeah, I think that's about all I need to really cover on that one. It is a really cool facts to check out. Oh, no, there was a couple other ones. Her boobs actually were meant to defy gravity, and in the film you can actually watch them. They bounce backwards is what the animators did. And those sneaky little devils jumped in there in the actual film. And there's a scene where she gets thrown from a car and her legs spread open and there's no underwear on her. And of course, as kids, we didn't pick up on that kind of stuff. But by the time it came to DVD, they had animated in some little white panties on her so you couldn't see her hoo-hoo. So yes, great little facts about that movie. Now let's go into this statue and all the different parts that are really neat on this. This base, I've never really seen this on a lot of different sides. I think one maybe tiny little 1/6 scale figure that I've seen, but this is neat. Ready? 1, 2, bam. This base lights up and it's so pretty. When you have the lights out, this just glows, the dress just glitters, and she just looks amazing. Would have been kind of neat if the little waiters one had lit up, just because they kind of made that matching kind of stand inside this, because she's supposed to be on the stage, she's supposed to be in the crowd. A little bit of a mess up there, but they kind of wanted to have that symmetry, which I appreciate. The dress is fabric. It's glued on around the breast and formed in here. You can't take this off. I'm sure a lot of people want to peek up and look. I don't suggest that if you ever do buy this statue, because the glitter is known for coming off and falling off of the statue the more you play with this dress. So you really want to just pose her on the shelf and leave her. She also has a very delicate post that her foot, if you can actually see here in the video, there's not much attaching this to the base. So can be very wobbly. She is a statue to be very delicate with, especially with these tiny little feet that she's got there going on. Who wouldn't want tiny little feet like that? Anyways, going up to her face, we're just going to kind of do a pan down this beautiful statue. We're going to look at all the different detail here. Her hair is all molded on. This is one solid piece. Her body, dress, everything, it's all one. It fits right in. That's why the box is so small. It doesn't have a little compartment. And yeah, right down to the base here. So let's kind of go down past her breasts, and then we're going to kind of hit her butt. And then, yeah, what a great silhouette. She was such a cool character. And then, yes, down to the light up base here. The penguin, which you'll get a little bit of a close-up on here, his little hidden thing from the movie that a lot of people might not even have realized. Eddie Valiant orders a scotch on the rocks, and of course they're Looney Tunes, so they bring in actual rocks and scotch. And there's a little, you can see it in this picture here, there's actually a little rock in the scotch, which is great. Those are all the pieces. There's not a lot of them, but they're really well thought out, great detail, and I love it. It's such a beautiful statue. My sister's so lucky to have this in her collection. It was out very quickly, sold out very quickly. There's a lot of fans for this movie, especially us collectors who grew up during that time frame. Now that we've addressed all of those facts, let's go over to the shout-outs and learn more about who did what on this incredible statue. These are the incredible artists that came together to create this statue. On sculpt, we had Shu. Greg Mowry of Geppetto Productions was in charge of costume fabrication. Miria Romo Bowen and Anthony Mestas did paint. Jesse Lincoln, Chadwick Anderson, and Michael Woodring were all part of the development team. Stanley Archim-Lau of IFS Fine Art Prints was in charge of doing the exclusive version art print that came with this statue. You can see that here in this picture, and the Sideshow Collectible design and development team for coming together and signing off on such a wonderful piece. If you love this video, make sure to click below and subscribe. I don't want you to miss out on weekly editions of Braddock Media's toy and collectible reviews. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear back from you. See you all next week. Bye.